Good afternoon, everyone. It's Nate G. It is April 12th. It is kind of a pretty big market pull off, sell off kind of day. And I wanted to talk about how we're charting these markets and how we can kind of help tell that there's maybe a top or a bottom or a support and resistance. And you can do this on many different time frames. And we caught the bottom of this market dip here today. And if we come into like a 5 minute chart, you know, we've been selling off all day, right? You can see this long sell off, excuse me. And we caught the bottom of it, and then we again off the bottom we also caught the next dip and move up. And now we're kind of waiting to see if we're going to continue to the buyers are going to step in, or if this is going to continue its roll. And the way I wanted to kind of talk about that is I like to play the SPX. I like to snipe the SPX on a 2-3 minute chart. I also like to play it on a long term. And as you can see, I have a channel here from way back in February that the SPX has been playing in. And this has been on this chart for a long time. And when we were getting a breakdown a couple of days ago and then a snap back, it looked like we were going to hold this pattern, and we just had a little false breakout and a reclaim of that pattern. But as you can see, it has since broken out of that pattern, out of this long uptrend for almost 2 months now. And we need to try and figure out, okay, how is this pattern taking shape? What are we going to see from here? And I've erased a lot of my previous lines because I want to show you how I've done them, right? So if you come up here to the top end of this is a 65-minute chart, you can see, and I'm going to draw a line here, you can see that we've essentially double topped and then reversed, right? That's pretty common. We had a little breakout here, and then the market reversed on us. And this has been really choppy trading, right? This has been really choppy. And we're getting gap downs and pushes up and gap ups and sell offs. I mean, you can see how just absolutely choppy this is on the SPX. But what we can derive from this is now I have a top here, right? I have a low here, and then I have another kind of top, and you can see we're in a descending pattern here. And so if I have a low and a couple of tops up here, I can start to draw in another channel. And that's exactly what I did. Is I came in here and I grabbed my channel tool and I said, okay, there's my top. I'm going to line up these, this one we kind of broke out, but line up this one and the next one. And then I'm going to draw that channel down to that low. Okay, so look at where our low came in today. Right at that level there. Now you can also use, the VP level that comes in here. That's pretty close, right? But it's almost magic. And this was in here, this channel, this downward channel was in here before we put this bottom in. Okay. So, that was kind of giving a potential target. Now, as you can see, it doesn't always go down to there, but you can kind of expect, okay, we've created this channel, and now this is going to maybe be a spot where we're going to bounce. We could see another one as we come back up into here if we get a lot of buying over the next couple of days, right? But this helps in that channel, right? And it helps us give an idea of where we might come both up and down as long as it stays within that channel. So these two channels are going to stay on my chart, right? But let's go to a 3-minute chart, and we can start to see patterns here as well. So let's get rid of this channel so it's not too confusing. If we're looking at just today, right, we can start to draw in these channels, right? There was one here for a little while until it broke out of that channel. Can you see that? And then we broke out and we got some buying, and then it started selling off again, right? And we could even, if you like doing this kind of a thing, we started to create a channel here, right? As we're playing in. And then as we break out of that channel, breaking up or breaking down, those are good, buying opportunities or selling opportunities if you're going to short. And this turned into a great short. I've been doing that all day, is buying shorts. I bought a little bit of this bounce, but it didn't really do what I wanted it to. But I caught a large chunk of this sell-off here, and a large chunk of this sell-off here, and then a piece of this sell-off here, right? And now I've reversed my my roles. Now I'm buying calls at the bottom of new channels, right? So now we have, what do we have forming here, right? We have a channel forming on a larger time frame. We can even kind of go into a tighter time frame. Looks like we might be breaking out of this channel here. But when we came into this bottom, which we had talked about a minute ago, let me remove the drawings. And I said, kind of caught this bottom on a sniper here, right? And I said, watch this sort of 116, 117 level for an inverted head and shoulders, right? Because if we put that in, we have a little bit of a low here. This creates our inverted head and shoulders, which is a bullish move, right? Additionally to that is, as you can see, all the way through here, we're putting in, right? This is a lower high than the one above it, which is off the chart. This is a lower high, right? Lower low, lower low, lower high, right? And we keep going, lower low, right? Lower high, lower low, and then boom, higher high. Because if we draw lines straight across there, this high kind of, it was a little bit of a false breakout, right? But we reversed our pattern structure, okay? This one didn't really give us a higher high. It gave us the same high and then rolled. We've still put in a lower low, but now we put in a higher high, and more importantly, we put in a higher low. Okay, so that higher low is the shoulder, the right shoulder of an inverted head and shoulders, which is bullish. So now, that's not to say that this market is not going to just roll over, because it's nasty selling, but this pattern here kind of gives me an idea that there's a possible reversal happening here, right? That's not to say it's not going to roll over, because we've got some heavy selling coming in. So as I'm watching that, I'm also watching the ticks to see where they're doing. They're hanging out down here, 900, 600. So it's not great, but we put in a higher low here if this bounce holds, right? So now we're doing higher highs and higher lows, which gives me a channel like that. And if this breaks out of that channel, then I'll change my tune. But that kind of helps give you an idea of what's happening in the market and what that looks like, right? I mean, you could even, I'm drawing this in quickly, I could even have said, okay, there's your higher high and higher low, right? We didn't come in, we put a higher high, but we didn't come in and touch the top of this. Now we've broken out of it and we're retesting it. So I could make an argument right now that we've pushed down lower and tested this, and now we're going to roll some more, right? I could make that argument based on the chart. And maybe this low doesn't hold, right? But as long as it doesn't go lower than this, I'm still bullishly minded on this short-term SPX chart. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions on that? And that's just understanding charting and understanding the chart patterns and what they mean. Yeah, this is TradingView. And when I say I'm bullish at the moment, you know, for a reversal, that means intraday. That means today. That doesn't mean for the whole week, right? Or for the next month. It means within the next hour and a half, I'm bullish. I think this is maybe a bottom. But based on these patterns, I could change my mind in 1 minute. In fact, my mind is changing right now. You see that breakdown? So that's how we read these patterns. We also use VP to catch these bottoms as well, as Nate was doing. But it's really all in just how you chart these patterns. This is going to be a pretty key level right here. Watching that pretty closely, right? Because if we come out to a 10-minute, that becomes a right shoulder. And it's all just toggling between the time frames. Right? There's different levels in which this stuff can happen. So, but we're in a sell-off kind of day. So, who knows what's going to happen? Let's see. Does anybody have any questions on that kind of stuff or want me to provide any more explanation? Right? If we break that level right there, I'm bearish again. What's the volume playing in it? What do you mean? Well, yeah. So that's a good question. I'm playing intraday. I like to snipe the intraday chart, but it also like if I'm looking for entries on different names, right? What's a name that we're okay? So CRM here on this would be like a 130-minute squeeze, probably a 195 now. Okay, CRM is way down here at the bottom end of the range, right? It has sold off. But if I'm watching the SPX and I'm saying, okay, it looks like a bottom is coming in, that bottom is forming. So now I can come into CRM and I could say, okay, I feel like this is a good entry spot with a stop right below here because it looks like the market sell off is going to have a reversal. And then, if you're looking at volume, we can look at the SPY. It's not giving us much, but you can start to, in some cases, you can see kind of an exhaustion candle. Maybe if we look at more like a 5, right? You can see we get a little bit more buying coming in right there on those two candles. But the SPY is not giving us much of an exhaustion candle. But just learning to draw those things on your chart is really important and really helpful, especially if you're playing something intraday, or if you want to understand, is the market still in a downtrend on the day? Has it reversed? Is that reversal strong? We haven't gotten above the VWAP all day. The only buying that we've had, and it was slight. It took a while. It wasn't sharp. Came in here, gave us a little double top, and then it was good night, right? And so I've been using the sniper technique, a slightly different version of the sniper technique, to make decisions on how to capture larger sections of these moves here instead of just the little bounce part right there. Yeah, and that's the, I mean, the Abby, that's the hard part, right? Is if you get frozen in paralysis, right? Just watching the longs that you're in fade out, right? And you're like, are they going to bounce? Are they going to bounce? I want them to bounce. Is has it hurt? Is my have I reached my maximum pain level? Should I stop out? Those kinds of things, right? And to me, if we break this level here, we're definitely going to come down and at least test this bottom here. Or maybe just get a hard sell off into the close. But this will be an interesting level right here. And our ticks are down around negative 1,000. So the sell-off continues. I mean, the sell-off today is one of the things is today is yesterday and today are the pit bull low, and today is the actual pit bull low, right? Which means OPEX is tomorrow. No, I'm sorry, next week, not tomorrow. What am I talking about? And generally, not always, we go through this a lot. Not always, but on Thursday or Friday of the week prior to OPEX, we put in a low for the following week, right? So we have a sell off, we put in a low, we suck in premium, and then throughout the week it just becomes choppy, and we end up kind of coming back to the area that we started the weekend, right? It's just a lot of up and a lot of down. The other reason we're selling off today, in my opinion, is everything has to have a converse reaction, right? And so yesterday we had this huge up move, right? And then we gap down, and now that's profit taking, and fears of potential missile strikes and whatever in the Middle East, and then there's more, and there's just continuation of that. And you can see we've had a lot of those days recently, right? We have some consolidation days, and then we have massive sell-off days. Or it's like, look at this day. I mean, this is the SPX, but up here near highs, and then just massive sell-off, right? So it's just there's uncertainty in the market at the moment, and that's kind of what's going on here. I call it a pit below because that's what the market calls it. I didn't make that up. So if you want, here I have a video on that too, which I can put in here if you're not familiar with kind of both OPEX and how a pit below can play, not always, right? It's everything we say is it's not always exactly what happens every single time, but if you know the trends, that can help inform some decisions. OPEX, Pitbull, low. All right, that video there. Nate W, I have no idea. I have no idea what the market's gonna do. None of us do, right? And we just react to what the market gives us, right? Yeah, right. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. That's exactly right. Um, it's just, the market does what the market does. There's larger factors at play that are way above my pay grade. I just take what the market shows me, and I try to make decisions based on that. This low will be very important. Whoops. Let's see what happens. No, the market does not pay me. It's well, it does. It does when I take money out of the market, I suppose. But no, that's just a phrase I like to use, that something's above my pay grade. It means I have no idea why it's happening. That's a nice little bounce we just got there. Wonder if that have been a good sniper. Yeah, missed it. Oh man, and a great setup. Oh, that's a 1 minute. Gave you a little doji candle and then out of there. See, that's what I get for chatting on the mic. So because it's Friday, we have an hour and a half left. I'll be interested to see if we get an actual bounce into the close, or if we've come in and we've put in this low and we just kind of do this into the close. I don't really know. As I said, that's above my pay grade. I just react to what the market is showing me. Todd, I'm generally when I'm sniping the SPX, I'm taking one or two, depending on how confident I am in the trade itself. SPX at the money contracts, because it doesn't take a lot of movement to make a couple $100 there per trade. Um, and um, so far today on single, I haven't taken any doubles today, and like two contracts, and I think I'm up about 2,600 on those trades. Just kind of sniping the SPX. Right? So just $100 here, well, not 100, but $200 or $300 here, um, 400 or 500 bucks there, just kind of adds up. But it's also a great way, if you don't manage your risk well, to you know really get your face ripped off, which I have done before. so so it's not it's you have to be really disciplined when you're doing. There's a couple of you guys do that in here as well, um, and do pretty well with it. But yeah, you have to be pretty darn disciplined, because an SPX contract, one or two going against you, can really kind of rip your face off pretty quickly. What's up, Nate Bear? I've been sniping this thing all day. I thought we had a reversal. I thought we had an inverted head and shoulders, and it kind of started and then said, we just don't have the energy for it, and rolled over. Yeah, real bad week to stop sniffing glue. So, Okay, so that kind of is the just charting the market and understanding how to recognize potential reversals when trends break down. I'm going to stop the recording there and then post that up for everyone if they would like to watch it.